Have you ever worked harder than everyone else, but still felt like you were falling behind? Many people believe success comes only from working harder and harder every day. They wake up early, work late at night, and sacrifice everything for their goals. But what if working harder is not always the answer? What if the real secret to success is something completely different? Today, I want to tell you a powerful story about two workers. One believed success came from endless hard work. The other believed success came from thinking smart. What happened to them might completely change how you see work and success. Once upon a time in a small town, there were two young men named Daniel and Lucas. Both of them worked at a large woodcutting company. Their job was simple but very tiring. Every day they had to cut trees and prepare the wood for the factory. The work was physically exhausting, and many workers often quit after only a few months. But Daniel and Lucas were determined to succeed. Daniel believed that the secret to success was working harder than everyone else. He woke up before sunrise and worked non-stop until sunset. He barely rested and rarely spoke to anyone during work. Lucas, however, worked differently. He also worked seriously, but he often stopped for short breaks. During those breaks, he would sharpen his tools and think about how to improve his technique. Weeks passed, and Daniel continued pushing himself harder every day. His hands became rough, his body felt exhausted, and he barely had the energy to talk after work. He believed that one day his boss would notice his dedication and reward him. However, something strange began to happen. Despite working longer hours, Daniel was cutting fewer trees than Lucas. This confused him deeply. Daniel worked almost twice as hard, yet Lucas always finished his tasks faster. At first, Daniel thought Lucas was just lucky. But as days turned into weeks, the difference became impossible to ignore. One evening, after another exhausting day, Daniel decided to watch Lucas carefully. He noticed something surprising. Lucas often paused during work. Sometimes he sat under a tree, drinking water or cleaning his tools. Daniel felt frustrated when he saw this. How can someone rest so often and still finish more work than me? He wondered. The mystery continued for several days. Lucas worked calmly and peacefully, while Daniel pushed himself harder and harder, feeling more tired each day. Daniel could not understand how someone who appeared to work less was achieving more. If you enjoy emotional and meaningful stories like this, make sure to subscribe to the English Story Academy channel for more powerful and interesting English listening stories. One afternoon, Daniel finally decided to ask Lucas the question that had been bothering him for weeks. "Lucas," he said tiredly, "I don't understand something. I work longer hours than you. I rarely stop to rest, but somehow you always finish more work than me. What is your secret?" Lucas looked at Daniel with a calm smile. He could see how exhausted Daniel was. His face showed years of stress and effort packed into just a few weeks. Lucas then gave a gentle answer that Daniel would never forget. Lucas said, "Daniel, every time you see me resting, I am not wasting time. I am sharpening my axe." Daniel looked confused. Lucas continued, "If your tool becomes dull, you can swing it all day and still cut very little wood. But if you take time to sharpen it, every strike becomes stronger and more effective." Daniel suddenly realized something painful. For weeks, he had been working harder and harder, but he had never stopped to improve his tools, his technique, or his thinking. That night, Daniel went home and thought deeply about what Lucas had said. For the first time, he realized that effort alone is not always enough. Working hard is important, but working smart is what makes the effort truly powerful. The next day, Daniel began changing his habits. He started sharpening his tools, learning better techniques, and thinking about smarter ways to work. Slowly, his results improved. He no longer felt exhausted all the time. Instead, he felt confident and balanced. Months later, Daniel became one of the best workers in the company. But the biggest change was not his success. It was his mindset. He finally understood something many people spend their whole lives learning. Success does not come from working harder alone. It comes from working smarter, wiser, and with purpose. Sometimes the strongest people are not the ones who work the longest hours, but the ones who stop, think, and improve before they continue. Moral of the story: working hard is important, but working smart turns effort into success. If you enjoy emotional and meaningful English stories like this, subscribe to the English Story Academy channel for more powerful and inspiring stories.